But LeBron, well, if this is it, and I'm not ruling it out, I'll give it maybe, how about 15% that this is it. LeBron, not in my top 3 all time. I can make a case for the top 5. I'm older, so like my top 5 doesn't include, Shaquille O'Neal or even Steph Curry. But, great players, especially Curry. LeBron with 4 titles, 2 with the Miami Heat, 1 with the Cavs, and 1 with the Lakers in the COVID year, which I still don't know how that happened, but hats off to LeBron. Again, those 4 championships, played in a lot of finals. Certainly the dominant player of his era, along with Steph Curry. Interesting. LeBron. Rooch, where did LeBron play his summer league as a rookie, the rookie summer league? I know you're gonna guess it correctly.
UMass Boston.
There you go, UMass Boston.
That's correct.
I was there, and I was like, okay. He's a little thin, good body for 18 years old, but a little thin. And sure, he's legit 6'7", 6'8". And then it was the first quarter, and he wasn't doing much, taking some jump shots, missing some shots. And he turned the corner, I'd say at the free throw line, took a step and a half and threw a dunk over some unsuspecting stiff. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's a little explosive. And LeBron was off and running from there. A great player. He's coming back, right, Rooch? Don't you think?
Absolutely. If we know anything about LeBron James, he, loves the stage as much as he's dominated on the stage, maybe even more so, So we talked about it a little last night. I do not expect LeBron to go out, not so much like this, just without a retirement lap, like a final year or a final shot at something. You mentioned the Knicks, right? Sure. MSG. Slay that dragon. That makes sense. Going back to Cleveland.
Sure.
Makes sense. Going back to Miami. Makes sense.
Yeah. They have enough pieces in place there? Probably not. But he's a big piece.
Yeah. Exactly. They'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Going to Golden State would make sense. Going to the Clippers would make sense depending on what their next moves are. So, that's the thing about LeBron James. He's been such an integral part of NBA basketball for the past basically 25 years that there are so many places that he could now go, and a lot of people would, consider it a fitting end to his career.
LeBron, by the way, 8 years with the Lakers. That's the longest stretch of his career. When they
Consecutive.
said that, consecutive. When they said that, I was like, no, Cleveland. No, he left Cleveland. Was that what it was called? The decision?
That's right, the decision when he sat down with Jim Gray.
Yeah, it was gripping.
That's right. Before Jim Gray got his hooks into Tom Brady, he had to talk to the likes of LeBron James.
All right, LeBron, what is your retirement thinking process?
You guys asked me about it, and I've answered questions. Yeah, I don't think I've come out like, oh, retirement is coming. So, with my future, I don't know, obviously. This is obviously we're still fresh from, obviously losing. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. I got a lot of time. I'll sit back like I think I said it last year after we lost, I think, to Minnesota there. Go back and recalibrate with my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And then when the time comes, obviously, you guys know what I decide to do.
All right, he's going to recalibrate. Rooch, have you ever recalibrated in your life? I've never quite dipped to that level.
On a daily basis. You got to recalibrate every day to make sure you're You kidding me? A golfer like you hasn't recalibrated? I'd imagine with every shank into the woods, you consider recalibrating.
Good
or at
point.
least giving a little crick of the neck and, my shoulder. I need to visit some hack behind the mall to pop my spine into place.
Yeah, maybe for some shots. I'm getting to the age where, some artificial... Well, anyways, enough about my bad
Peyton
golf
Manning,
game.
whatever they're shooting in his neck over in Germany,
right.
Give me some of that.
When they start mixing my blood and injecting it back, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
okay?
There you go. That sounds like a recalibration if I've ever heard one.
Is there a chance that LeBron goes back to the Lakers? Or I guess the question is, why would he go back to the Lakers if the goal is to win championships? I just don't know what they can do. Although half their team will enter free agency, including Austin Reeves, who was their second best player, third best player when everyone was healthy. Fine. You bring back LeBron, you bring back Austin Reeves. I'm sorry, that's not good enough.
No, with Luka Doncic.
With Luka. It's not good enough.
No, it's not. I mean, look, I don't think LeBron as a number 3 option anywhere is probably going to be obviously great and good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's impossible that a team led by Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James could win the NBA championship next year. I think a lot of things would have to go their way, starting with the other pieces on the team, to your point. But I think that's what's going to be interesting about LeBron, watching LeBron moving forward is, he's not going to be getting max money. He's not going to be considered probably one of the top 2 options on whichever team he goes to next. And how he's able to blend with that new team, I think is going to be very interesting to watch, because I think, in the right situation, he could certainly be, a dangerous missing piece for a contending team. It could also go hilariously wrong. I don't want to be there for it either way.
Well, he likes to say that he was the 3rd option this year, but I'm sorry, Austin Reeves was not more of an option in my eyes when I saw the Lakers. Yeah, he may not have been taking all the shots, but he was playmaking really as well as he has throughout his career. I give awful lot of credit.
And I want to meet the playground, schoolboy, high school, college star of Austin Reeves' age relative to LeBron.
Yeah,
that wouldn't defer to LeBron.
Sure, of course.
I mean, you'd have to be so much better. Obviously, like the coach would have to pull you aside and be like, "Hey, you're better than LeBron James. You need to start acting like it." It's got to be tough, not to defer to LeBron when you spent, your entire life watching him dominate.
Yeah, Luka has no problem with that.
No, they don't have TV.
There's not many Lukas in the world. Talk about, wouldn't say selfish, but confident. Okay, that's right. Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I believe that he had never seen a basketball game before playing basketball and probably doesn't watch it now. So he has no reason to defer to LeBron.
All right, so who knows where LeBron ends up? If he ends up in the East, how does that affect the Celtics? Well, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins, he's got ideas for the Celtics.
If I'm the Boston Celtics, I'm going to say this out loud. If I'm the Boston Celtics, I'm picking up the phone. I'm one of those phone calls that's dialing into the Milwaukee Bucks. Who don't want to see Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo together? I mean, they might have to give up Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
But damn it, we're about championships, Malika, over here in the Beantown.
All right, it is the talking point since the Celtics went down for the count. I'm intrigued by it, Rooch. And again, just like you said, if it happens, boy, I'll be watching. And the more I think about it, the 2 Jays, they've had a great run. They have a championship, a couple finals losses. Their window is closing. Okay, it's not closed. If they come back, they certainly would be in the mix. But it's closing. Now, Giannis is older than both of these guys.
Yeah.
And you give me Giannis for 2 healthy seasons. I'm not saying 5, but 2 healthy seasons. I think I'm willing to give it a shot. But, we'll see how that plays out in the next couple of weeks. You would think between now and the start of free agency, the draft will be late June and free agency just around the corner from there. So we'll see.
Yeah, when you mentioned this, a deal like this, you just talked about LeBron and how, he's not in, your top 3, but you can maybe make a case for a top 5. And, I always throw out the person's legitimate if you can make an argument for them.
Sure.
People are going to have opinions. And I think this would be the same for a swap of Jaylen Brown for Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
It's merely an opinion thing.
No question.
This stuff okay.
It's tough to visualize how he and Tatum will mix, and yet you're like, oh, okay, Tatum and Giannis. Yeah, but how? And I can't visualize
get there.
it.
No, I can't visualize it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you need 3 basketballs, it feels like, to accommodate that style of play. But either way, even if you're a huge Giannis fan and a Jaylen Brown detractor, I think best case scenario is this is different at best. And different might be enough, as we just sort of talked about with LeBron, but I'm not rushing to do different if I'm the Boston Celtics. I will be interested, though. Brad Stevens, we talk about Giannis, we talk about LeBron. There will be a lot of moving parts depending on where those 2 end up.
For sure.
Even though LeBron's a free agent, at the very least, I hope Brad Stevens is there to pick up some delicious crumbs for future endeavors.
All right, 401-438-WPRO, 438-9776. If you want to talk NBA, if you want to talk college hoops, a little bit with the Friars next on the Kevin Mack Sports Hour. Welcome back to the Kevin Mack Sports Hour here on WPRO, 790 The Score, your home for Providence College basketball and hockey, for that matter. That's new PC hoop coach Brian Hodgson on the field of 68 with Jeff Goodman, and I can't say I'm surprised. Billy Donovan is a great guy. He really is. And first of all, please, Billy, don't retire. We need you in basketball. You should coach the Orlando Magic. I know you still have, some serious roots in Florida, Central Florida. You're in the Hall of Fame because you led the Gators to back-to-back titles. And you raised your kids there. So it would make sense. Go back to the Orlando area. Get out of Chicago and that awful place and its awful winters. Leave the Bulls. Makes sense. And, hey, I could have been in the mix, at Providence, at North Carolina, and clearly wants to stay in the NBA. And no matter where he is, Orlando, anywhere in the coaching world, in the basketball world, Billy Donovan will always be a Friar and have a huge part of his heart be in Providence. I know several of his friends who still live in the area, who go to home games all the time. Billy met his wife at Providence, and I'm not surprised to hear that. And it's strange. Why would Brian Hodgson never have come across or met Billy Donovan? I think just shows how young the Shark is, the new PC coach, and Billy D is, I can tell you how old Billy D is. He's probably 61 years old, so it's kind of a different era.
Well, right, watching him on TV, Coach Hodgson's my age.
Right.
That's what shows there. I remember watching those teams with Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and the like there down in Florida, Torian Green, that won those back-to-back titles.
Corey Brewer.
That's right, Corey Brewer.
Good players.
Yeah, lots of good players there on Billy Donovan's team. But right, unless he had happened upon his staff at some point, Hodgson was busy coaching in the college ranks, and Billy was busy coaching in the pro ranks. Maybe a little curious if they didn't cross paths at one of those clinics along the way. But again, Hodgson was busy in the living rooms of parents, ensuring them that their sons were headed for greener pastures, and then guaranteeing that those pastures were indeed very green.
Hey, Rooch, we hope to get Brian Hodgson on the show here soon. The one thing I want to ask him about, besides, Dink Pate, of course.
Absolutely.
And the assorted other Friar editions. He has a camp this summer that I don't believe it's sold out yet. And he has, the normal camps for kids, the camps that you attended many years ago at Providence College.
And coached at Providence College camp.
It's for a sizable fee. Of course, the money goes to, Providence College and paying the players and all
Steve
that
Knapp.
good stuff. Steve Knapp's pocket. He's the intermediary.
That's right. He just holds on to it.
But
Make sure it gets to the right place.
It's called a one-day clinic, and you show up and basically you're in the shark. You're in the shark den. You go to film. You're on the court. You see a workout. You do a strategy session. You go to dinner. It's like a full day with the Providence College coaching staff. I can see. Well, it's been very busy. I understand it's not sold out yet, but pretty unique idea.
So this is what, you follow him around for a day?
Correct.
Okay.
And they have assorted, obviously.
How many spots are available?
I don't know, but it's not like 10. I think they'd be happy to get as many as they can. I'm not going to say 100, but, they have to have a dinner. It'd be a pretty expensive dinner if it's 80, 90 people, but I don't know that answer.
All right. No, excellent. Yeah, no, that does sound like a unique experience. Got to be a lot of these unique experiences popping up in the NIL age.
You got that right. Well, every time I open, Twitter or the X machine and I see what's happening in the SEC with football, yes, there are unique fundraising opportunities throughout college sports, including at Providence College.
Yeah, if Hodgson actually has a dog or something, you're going to hear about that. It's going to be a dog walking opportunity.
Dog walking.
That's right. Yeah, come walk your dog with Coach Hodgson. His is going to be wearing a shark hoodie.
Yep.
And there you go. The money just comes rolling in. Steve Knapp, that one's for free. The next one's going to cost you.
Great ideas. There's plenty of them for sure in college sports. Okay, when we come back, a little golf because, hey, we don't want to talk about the Red Sox tonight, okay? They didn't play last night. They stink. We crushed them on last night's show. When we come back, the PGA Championship next on the KevinMc Sports Hour. Rory McIlroy yesterday afternoon, I believe, at the PGA Championship, getting ready to for another major, the second major of the golf season. Yeah, Rory's been a little busy Now, he hasn't been playing a lot of golf. Took a couple weeks off. Was in Charlotte last week. Swung through the White House for the state dinner with King Charles, which was interesting. Because I don't think Rory is leans to the right. Say that, but maybe. And he's from Northern Ireland, so
that's just a puppet
King
show.
Charles. I mean,
that's not real.
Well, maybe
politics.
his wife wanted to go, right?
Which way did they lean? You mean those people playing dress up with the?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has an angle, Rooch.
Sure.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Some angles a little sharper than others.
I was gonna say, yeah. I think, hey, they want to serve you some bangers and mash. You take them up on their offer.
Yeah, and it's better than playing Trump Doral. Anyways, I've played that golf course, the quote Blue Monster. Rory took a pass on that. Instead, went to see Trump himself. Anyways, a few other items on the PGA heading into the PGA Championship is the demise of LIV. And, we spent a lot of time on this show talking about LIV when it came to fruition a couple of years ago. And the Saudi Investment Fund, which has been the bank behind the LIV Tour, as they're going to walk away at the end of this year. Now, the current LIV leadership says that no big deal. LIV will not die. We will have, we'll go forward with a schedule next year. Who knows what the schedule will be? Might be at, Triggs. Who knows where LIV's going to be next year? I don't know. Is Carl Augenstein ready for LIV? He's always been a LIV booster.
Get Carl on the horn right now. That is an opportunity if I've ever heard one.
It certainly is. But Rory McIlroy was targeted by LIV. Thrown huge offers to jump to LIV. He obviously chose not to and was a big defender and booster of the PGA Tour. So, Rory, does he have the last laugh?
I'm just curious what your level of surprise is now that, they're going the other way and pulling their funding.
I'm glad I was wrong, Bob. I can admit when I was wrong, and that was one that I did get wrong. I think this was always a possibility to happen. I think everyone knows, with everything that's happening in the Middle East, that had a lot to do. But whenever you have funding tied so much to the geopolitical landscape in the world, it's a tricky road to navigate. So their priorities shifted, and that leaves LIV in a pretty precarious spot. But again, that's the risk that those guys chose to take. And as I said, it leaves. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air right now.
It's been around for, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. I'm not going to give any credit to the Saudis and the investment fund, but talk about seed money. They've thrown a lot of money to get this rival league off the ground. They're choosing to walk away for selfish reasons. They have bigger fish to fry, like oil and their dominance in the Middle East. But Rooch, this isn't going to be able to continue at a high enough level, right?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful about this is, take it back to when LIV started, and there were those of us out here saying that this was what Rory McIlroy just described. It was always just a geopolitical play. Mm-hmm. People discussed sport washing. Of course, Phil Mickelson shoved both of his cleats down his throat in an attempt to justify the league. But we talked about, the money they were spending was unrealistic, and that this must have been what they wanted, was to buy influence, to the point that here is the league collapsing, right? Okay, so the Saudis pulled their money. You heard any talk about anybody buying LIV Golf?
Yeah, it's not for sale.
Because it's not a product.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, without the money, it isn't a thing. At all. It's not like, oh, you know what?
Well, where's all these crazy private equity funds who can't wait to buy teams and buy the league?
Right. No one ever showed up to do any of that stuff, which is why they're not lining up now to buy the product, especially when all the players who are worth a damn that they paid $500 million to bring over there are saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can now to get back to the PGA Tour, because this thing has gone completely sideways. So the end game tells you, if you still had any sort of thought as to whether, if you bought into the Saudis and Phil Mickelson talking about spreading the game of golf.
Growing the game.
Yeah, growing the game.
Yeah.
Greg Norman et al.
Greg Norman.
If you ever bought into that, the fact that there is not anything for sale right now, and the fact that the Saudis do not seem to care one iota about the billions of dollars they flushed down the drain, that should tell you everything about why they were in it and why now they're ultimately getting out.
You know, we should send this clip to one person who I would like to see, and we'll see him this week at the PGA. I'd like to see him more often, maybe not every week, but Bryson DeChambeau. So Bryson he's the star of the Live Tour as we speak. You know, John Rahm's very good, Hatton, Cam Smith, fine. Bryson's the big star. And so when it was learned that the Saudis are walking away, Bryson didn't say, wow, you know, that's unfortunate. I need to find a way back to the PGA Tour. His reaction was, maybe this frees me up to grow the brand more on YouTube. I'm like, now, have I watched Bryson on YouTube, you know, a time or two? Yes. Is it appointment viewing? Are you kidding me? I mean, what is this guy thinking? At this point in his career, it should be about competing against the best players on a consistent basis and winning major championships. Growing the game on YouTube, obviously, he's lost his mind.
Well, no, so it's one of two things, right? I guess the third thing could be that he's just lost his mind. That would be a great outcome. I would root for that one. But number one is he might have bought into that crap I was just talking about the first time around. He might have been the one that signed on the bottom line, nodding along with the Saudis and Greg Norman saying, that's right, man. We're going to grow this thing. That's fine. Finally, I found a partnership.
The Crushers have a great have a great lineage, and we can grow the Crusher brand.
That's right. And the second thing would be that he's a smart man who has seen his contractual obligations and knows that he's got no chance in hell of getting back to the PGA Tour in the capacity he needs to be anytime soon. Taken into account the ads that I see running constantly. Now, this could just be what I watch. I can't remember if they're on ESPN or not. But Bryson DeChambeau is a spokesperson shareholder in Kalshi. Right? He's currently running in heavy rotation a Kalshi commercial in which he sees an alien crash on a golf course. Fine, that's not even what I'm discussing here. The fact is, he's branded up with all his live stuff. Right? Well, what'd you say his team was called?
I think he's the Crushers. I'm not sure.
Sure, whatever. Yeah. But he's got all his
If he's not the Crushers, he's the Mashers.
And I'm watching this commercial, and it's just like, you know, it's like one of those end of times type deals. It's like, here's this guy sporting gear from this defunct league, try to discuss whether or not aliens, he could bet on whether or not aliens could land on this planet. I'm like, if that doesn't sort of tell you where the state of golf is, you know, right now in this live versus PGA situation, it's just a dumpster fire, especially for those live guys.
Now, they all got rich. And, you know, their bank accounts will last through their lives and their children's lives.
Are we going to be stunned, though, to hear from people who haven't been paid
yet?
Who
don't get paid. I agree, especially the lower end.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the Thomas Detries of the world, or whomever they
Tom
drag.
McCribbin, up there from Northern Ireland.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Funny about that. I saw in the paper it said I was going to get $80 million, and
I got 8.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that yet.
Hey, one more political thing before we jump to our pick of the night. The NFL schedule release is Thursday night. And there's been, I wouldn't say some pushback. I know President Trump has talked about it. We've talked about it because, you know, I'm pretty much technologically challenged. But the push to have so many NFL games off CBS, Fox, NBC, even ESPN, and onto the streaming services. This coming season, it'll be Amazon Prime, Peacock, Netflix, and YouTube. There is no end to that if no parameters are put into play. That said, this is a private business, the NFL. It's not a public one. Sure, could they get lobbied and, you know, Trump with Fox and who runs Fox, help me out?
Rupert
Murdoch twisting his arm and saying, come on, help me out here, Trump. You know, he's weighing in to some degree. That said, Trump knows like half of the owners because they're all billionaires and live in Palm Beach. So, you know, he's, quote, straddling the fence. Nothing's going to change here, Rooch, until the customers take a step back, and the customers are going the opposite way. Ratings keep going up, and those streaming services keep growing.
Yeah, I think we'd all like to see the broadcasts more streamlined, you know, to your point, but this is what's known as a shakedown. And to your point about the billionaire owners, I think this group might be strong enough to hold out and not be shaken down for permission to continue doing business as usual.
Yeah, full speed ahead. That's what that means. We'll tell you how many networks the Patriots will play on Friday's show. It could take a while to count them all up. When we come back, tonight's Kevin Mack Sports Pick of the Night. Welcome back to the Kevin Mack Sports Hour here on WPRO 790 The Score. That's new Patriot receiver, right? Romeo Doubs?
That's right, Romeo Doubs.
Yes. Heard some spin on Romeo today, and boy, I hope can be true. Be a crowded and very talented receiver room. Of course, the Pats go out and get A.J. Brown. They bring him in. And, hey, Stephon Gibbs.
Diggs?
Stephon Diggs, not Gibbs. Diggs is unsigned. Would we take him back at, I don't know, he made almost 20 last year. I don't know, $8 million? I'd say yes. Let them figure it out. I like how they say, well, that's kind of Dobbs' spot, and it's duplication. In today's day and age in the NFL, you line up three guys out wide anyways, not all the time, but most third down or long, distance situations. I say bring it on. The more the merrier, right? I don't care about anyone's feelings or role or spot. You play the best players. That's all.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with feelings, role, or spot either, as long as the player can do whatever the new thing is you're asking of them, right? I mean, we certainly don't want him to come in and be a backup, but yeah, if Josh McDaniels still has use for him, then I say bring him on back, but the money shouldn't be a problem. I mean, as we've discussed many times, they've got plenty of money to spend, well under the salary cap. Obviously, you don't want to go into hock for someone like Steph Diggs too badly, but he won't be asking for 4 or 5 years. We're talking 1 year with an option at, yeah you're right, $10 million.
I mean, he's not going to get more than that, right?
I certainly wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But who's to say?
Let's get to the Kevin Mack Sports Pick of the Night. Hey, that's Tom. Thank you, Tom. Terrific.
Yeah, we know him.
What dog and what fight? He's in a lot of fights anyways, Tom Brady. Good for him.
I don't know if you just saw, K-Mac, we got another premature death in the
did.
NBA.
Why don't you follow up? I just saw the email. Yeah,
Jason Collins, he former Celtic. Jason Collins, he and his twin brother were NBA players for a very long time, and Stanford, right? Is the Collins
Stanford
brothers?
played against URI in the NCAA tournament way back when.
That's right.
This Collins had a really bad and aggressive brain cancer.
Right.
So very, very sad situation there for sure.
Yeah, and we again, Brandon Clark, we talked about off the top of the show. The NBA, a lot of tragic news in the NBA.
Red Sox are rolling already. Well, they're not rolling. The game has begun. They're losing already to the Phillies in the first inning, 1-0. So that can't be the pick of the night, Rooch, because they started already. And we'll get to the PGA Championship. Should we just wait for tomorrow night? Because we're going to pick our winners?
Sure, I don't have a winner now, but if you have any thoughts on the matter, I say give them to the people.
Bryson DeChambeau, why is he 20 or even higher to 1 in the PGA Championship? He's Bryson DeChambeau, right? You would assume he's in the top 3-4 guys. Instead, he's more like 7 or 8.
Well, I am seeing him third in the betting odds. Where is this on? Sportsbook Rhode Island?
And CBS. I saw that he was. What's his number?
10-1.
I see 20-1 at Sportsbook Rhode Island, 22-1 on CBS.
Yeah, no, you're getting a great bargain according to what the books are saying nationally. So yeah, okay. He is the third favorite according to the books. Let me check FanDuel in Massachusetts. Yeah, he is upwards of 20 at FanDuel in Massachusetts. So you're right.
So he's kind of all over the map. Yeah.
Well, maybe it just hasn't been updated, the thing I'm looking at.
I see.
But yeah, Bryson DeChambeau, the reason he's probably not getting more love from the betting public, and they actually seem to be fading him very aggressively here, is that he hasn't
played great.
He hasn't played great. He's still got the live stain on him, and I don't mean the geopolitical stuff. It's the 54 hole, not playing against the best players in the world type stuff. And when you look at the select group of players that are ahead of him, you're not really going to argue with Scheffler and McIlroy, obviously.
Or Cam Young.
Yeah, Cam Young is another one that would be, sort of automatic based on how he's playing right now. So, the number is a little fat, but his place in the rankings, it sort of is where it is. I think everybody's numbers are a little inflated because of Scheffler and McIlroy and the expectation that one of them is going to walk away the champion.
All right, so LeBron's Lakers lose last night, but they covered. It was a fat spread. I think it was 13 or 15 or so points. Tonight, the Spurs in a 2-2 series, Game 5, they're 10.5-point favorites over the Timberwolves. A question, late in these, so these are series that have gone back and forth, the home team's dominating. You would think later in the series, the games get a little closer, and 10.5 in the NBA is a pretty good number.
Yeah, 10.5 is a good number. Not a lot of action on that. I was actually thinking when I checked my charts that people were going to like Minnesota on the money line to sort of, send the message that this thing is definitely going 7 games. To me, the lack of excitement in Minnesota from the betting market, I think it's just going to be the Spurs roll, and Wemby's back, and this is what you get for ejecting Wemby.
Yes,
and
don't do it.
Things of that nature. So, I'd like to see Minnesota extend this thing. They're going to need to get one on the road. I don't love their chances tonight.
All right, we'll preview that PGA Championship with Carl Augenstein tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, the KevinMc Sports Hour.